Part 32. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 313. 311. Director Hua came after hearing the news and was shocked when he saw the man on the ground and said, "Why is it you?" When the man saw Director Hua coming, he knew it was a trap and he had been exposed. The man whose jaw was removed was Sun Qiang, the second captain of the patrol team at the institute. "Take him to the interrogation room." Director Hua was surprised and then very angry. He wanted to interrogate him carefully as to why he betrayed him. The person had been caught. Huo Yingjia was relieved and waited for the interrogation from Director Hua. At this time, Huo Yingjia remembered and said, "Little turtle, why can you read the memory? It's a snake." The little spinner quickly covered his mouth and almost told the Snake King. It had agreed with He Tian Tian that it was keeping the Snake King's secret and could not say, "I learned it secretly." In fact, it learned these from the Snake King, who gave it some exercises before. "After learning it, I gained a lot of magical powers." Haha, no matter who you learn it from, it's always good to learn more. You did a good job this time. Great Huo Yingjia didn't care about these details. He knew that the greater the little spin turtle's ability, the more he could do. Get more help. Yes, as humans say, when you use the book, you will lose it. So you have to study more, the little spinner said seriously. My magic is the same, I have to practice it well. Yes, there is progress. Huo Yingjia smiled. By the way, can you give me that person's memory now? Yeah, okay, the little turtle nodded, and then a large number of memories poured into Huo Yingjia's mind. Huo Yingjia felt a slight discomfort in his head, but the discomfort quickly passed. Huo Yingjia's mind was like a computer from his previous life, constantly playing Sun Qiang's memories. So this is a... It turns out that Sun Qiang had been instigated by enemy agents 5 years ago. He had 3 offline and 1 online in the research institute. The first one was Uncle Hao. He used Uncle Hao's grandson to be ill and needed medical expenses urgently, so he lured Uncle Hao. As for the other 3, Huo Yingjia didn't know them. Let's wait and see the situation after he goes out. The source of this information is too weird, Huo Yingjia just needs to know it. In addition to the research institute, he also found a crucial clue from this person's memory. This clue involved a major event later, and Huo Yingjia decided to take advantage of it. Save more energy for the Huo family and yourself. 3 days later, Huo Yingjia was released. Qian Miao Miao chirped, "Boss, you don't know, our research institute found a lot of spies this time, 4 in total." Huo Yingjia knew that there were 5 in total in the institute. Only 4 have been caught now. So many? Which 3? What departments are they in? Huo Yingjia asked. He also wanted to know about the spies he didn't know. Uncle Hao, Sun Qiang, captain of the 2nd Patrol Team, Deputy Director Li from the Logistics Management Office, and a researcher from the Power Team. Qian Miao Miao explained, "Hey, these people are lurking around us, it's scary to think about it." 4. The 5th one is indeed cunning. But Huo Yingjia knows who that person is. The reason why that person was not discovered this time is probably because that person took advantage of his position to cover up part of his confession. Sacrifice a few offline, in exchange for peace. Once the news is over, we can naturally develop a few more downlines. Huo Yingjia originally wanted to catch a big fish. If the man hid, Huo Yingjia might be able to get more useful information. Hey, I hope something like this won't happen again in the future, Huo Yingjia said. Okay, you have been working hard recently. You can rest for 2 days and we will get back to work together. Qian Miao Miao was not surprised to see Huo Yingjia, and then suddenly realized, "Boss, I understand. You set up a trap and deceived the spies and also deceived us. Don't you believe us?" Tang Xinliang and Qian Miao Miao looked at Huo Yingjia together. Huo Yingjia smiled and said, "You are overthinking it. It's not that I don't trust you, but that you are young and I am afraid that you will know the truth and be exposed. I am here to apologize to you and hope you won't be angry. Let's go and see Aid Korea. Okay, I believe you for now, Chien Meow Meow said. It's time to go see him. We have been very busy these 2 days and have no time to see him. The boss is right, if she knows, she can't be ignorant at all. If the spies find out, the success will be in vain. They came to the hospital together, where Zhou Yuanchao was reading. Boss, you're out, Zhou Yuanchao said excitedly, about to get off the bed. You came out, how are you now? Huo Yingzhe asked. This time Zhou Yuanchao was injured on his behalf. Zhou Yuanchao raised his arm and said with a wry smile, it's estimated that my arm will last 2 months. Hey, I can't work with you. It's too boring in the hospital. As soon as the boss came out, he had to start work. He was very sorry that he could not participate because of his injury. Don't worry, our team won't be recruiting any more people. Huo Yingzhe patted him on the shoulder and said, take good care of yourself, we'll wait for you. Huo Yingzhe also didn't want Zhou Yuanchao's name to be missing after the project was completed. Really, Zhou Yuanchao was surprised and looked at Huo Yingzhe. What the boss said must be true. At worst, Tang Xinliang and I will do more, and we'll wait for you to return to the team, Chien Meow Meow said. After experiencing this incident, she didn't trust anyone else, only the team of 4 of them. I would rather work harder than come in with people I don't trust. I will definitely take good care of myself and return to the team as soon as possible, Zhou Yuanchao said with a smile, feeling very touched. After coming out of the hospital, Huo Yingzhe invited Chien Meow Meow and Tang Xinliang to eat in the cafeteria. Huo Yingzhe did not go back to the dormitory, but went directly to the office, opened the safe and checked the information. It was intact and no one had touched it. Little Spin Turtle, I also want to read a person's memory, how to do it? Huo Yingzhe asked. Only by knowing that person's movements, Huo Yingzhe can take advantage of the situation and take advantage of it, which may be the greatest benefit. Actually, it's very simple. As long as the owner has physical contact with that person, I can read his memory, the little spinner replied with a cute voice. Physical contact? Huo Yingzhe hated the cold and was a little confused. Is it okay to shake hands? Huo Yingzhe asked, hoping it would be okay. Yes, but neither person can wear gloves, the little spin turtle replied. Read it once, master, and you can know that person's memory anytime, anywhere. Great! Huo Yingzhe was overjoyed. Once he read it, he could know that person's past and present. As for the future, Huo Yingzhe didn't need it, he could speculate. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 314. 312. Huo Yingzhe survived a crisis and continued to work. I met that person when I went to the security office to report on ideological work. There was no need to shake hands, but after Huo Yingzhe saw the man, he actively extended his hand. The man was surprised to see Huo Yingzhe being so enthusiastic, but instead of hitting the smiling man, he had no choice but to extend his hand to shake. In just 1 or 2 seconds of shaking hands, the little spin turtle read that person's memory and left a mental imprint so that the memory can be read at any time in the future. This man's name is Zhang Wei, the deputy director of the security department. No wonder, such important information can be intercepted. Huo Yingzhe smiled, this person is the big fish of the research institute. But now that Huo Yingzhe has mastered this person's memory, he can be prepared if he arranges for spies to come over in the future. At the same time, Huo Yingzhe really traced the source from Zhang Wei's memory and finally found the big tiger in Yanjing. I don't know what is going on in that person's mind when he sells out the highest interests for his own selfish gain. Is it worth fighting for the purpose? Every time the little spinner turtle completes a task, he will be praised by Huo Yingzhe, so the little spinner turtle is very grateful to King Snake for his generosity. If given a chance, it will return the favor to the Snake King. Huo Yingzhe had no worries and began to get into the stressful work. But he didn't forget to write a letter to He Tian, telling him about the pain of lovesickness. The little spinner turtle feels that the exercises given to it by the Snake King are very useful. It practices them seriously every day, especially when it is with its master. When practicing, it will get twice the result with half the effort. Let's talk about He Tianation's home in Qijia village. A guest came, Kailing. Qi Ling brought Lao Wu and Xiao Chen to Qijia village again. Qi Ling took out various information and looked at He Jingyu with a solemn expression. He Tian said, there is a chronic poison in the pie, which can make people weak and skinny until the oil runs out, which takes about 1 to half a year, then he will die. He Jingyu was stunned and turned pale. It turned out that he was really poisonous and wanted to harm their family. What should we do now? He Jingyu asked. This cookie was given to our family by Lu Lingli. Qi Ling nodded and said, we have accepted your report and will go immediately to interrogate Lu Lingli. By the way, did you have any witnesses at the time? He Tian thought for a while and said, my parents, grandma, me, and Lu Lingli came here with her new husband. She didn't eat at my house. My mother even gave her a bottle of malted milk. Didn't anyone else see it? Qi Ling frowned. If no one else testifies, then Lu Lingli doesn't admit to sending the pie. Or if she doesn't admit to poisoning the pie, we won't be able to arrest her because of insufficient evidence. Then let her get away with it, He Tian said. Lu Lingli not only poisoned our pie, but I also knew that she was disorderly. She had just been married to Hu Daimao for more than half a month, but she had a quickie months pregnant. After Lu Lingli chose to poison them, He Tian no longer regarded her as a bit of a petty fellow, but as a murderer. There was no evidence, so He Tian had to create evidence to arrest Lu Lingli. If you don't do it for yourself, you will be punished by heaven and earth. Shi Tian is not the virgin. She will not give the slightest sympathy to such a woman. Because Lu Lingli is a cold-blooded snake, if you treat her well, maybe she will feel a little grateful when she accepts your kindness, but most of it is jealousy. Such a snake would bite her benefactor anytime, anywhere. Ah, Qi Ling frowned, is there such a thing? If you don't believe it, you can find a doctor to check Lu Lingli's pulse. He Tian said, I heard you and my dad say before that before Hu Gaodan died, he often cursed women with inappropriate behavior. Maybe Hu Gaodan scolded such a woman when he found her in the village. Qi Ling frowned. Although he felt there was some connection, these were all guesses and could not explain the problem. He Tian wanted to talk more, but Wang Shuping tugged on He Tianation's clothes and said, Tian, it's a matter of honor for a woman, so you have to be careful. He Tian hesitated to speak. What should I say? She really couldn't think of any reasonable reasons to convince them. Hey, this is your police matter anyway. You will investigate it, so I won't say more, He Tian said with a bitter smile, but she gave me a poisonous pie. This is true. Qi Ling nodded and said, well, don't worry, I will try my best to trace it. Qi Ling took people directly to Hu Jiakan and Hu Daimao's home. When old man Hu saw the police coming to his home, he shivered and didn't know what was going on. Sir, what are you doing here? Old man Hu asked cautiously, hoping it wasn't his son who was causing trouble outside. There's something I want to ask your son, Qi Ling said. Are they at home? My daughter-in-law is at home, and my son has gone to work, old man Hu stammered. He couldn't let the police know that his son had gone to gamble. Lu Lingli heard someone talking in the room and came out quickly. When he saw it was Qi Ling, he was startled and stood still. What is supposed to come has come. Lu Lingli has been restless at home and dare not go to Qijia village to inquire. However, she experimented on that dog. If a person ate it, He Tian and his family would have been uncomfortable long ago. They came and called Wang Shuilian, the doctor of Hujiakan. However, there was no news that anyone had a strange illness in Kijia village, and no one came to invite Wang Shuilian, and there was no bullock cart to send people to the county hospital for medical treatment. The happiness in Lu Lingli's heart disappeared completely. Realizing that an accident might have occurred, she racked her brains at home and finally came up with a solution. Refused to admit it? Lu Lingli admitted that she sent sugar cakes to He Tianatian's house that day, but she absolutely did not admit that she poisoned the sugar cakes. Are you going to give He Tiantian some sugar cookies on August 20th? Qi Ling asked, while Xiao Chen next to him took notes. August 20th, Lu Lingli counted with her fingers in a decent manner. Yes, that was the 4th day after my wedding. Thinking about the day of the wedding, Tian Tian was busy and did not eat at my house, so I made some food and gave it to He Tian Tian to thank her for coming to my wedding. Who did you go with? Qi Ling asked. With my husband Hu Daimao. Did you meet anyone on the road? Lu Lingli thought for a while and said, it was very hot that day and I didn't meet anyone. Lu Lingli was secretly happy. Yes, that's it, admitting what's on the surface, but not what's on the inside. Did you guys eat the big cake you made? Qi Ling asked again, staring into Lu Lingli's eyes. Eat it, Lu Lingli said. My husband and father-in-law also said it was delicious, and they also said that I am good at making pasta. We detected something in the sugar cake you gave to He Tianatian's family. How do you explain it? Qi Ling asked, finally getting to the key to the matter. Impossible, Lu Lingli said, it's impossible for me to poison it. We also eat it ourselves. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 315. 313. Qi Ling looked at Lu Lingli with sharp eyes. Lu Lingli was stunned and covered her mouth, knowing that she had said the wrong thing. I didn't say it was poisoned. How did you know it was poisoned? Qi Ling asked. It seems that this Lu Lingli is indeed as sweet as he said, which is a bit suspicious. I guessed it, Lu Lingli argued. I usually hear people say that if you put something in the cake, isn't it the same as poison? Haha, Qi Ling sneered, you are really sharp-tongued. Lu Lingli's face was pale, she tried to calm down, and said nonchalantly, I really don't know, and it wasn't me. I am fellow villager with He Tianatian's family, and we have no grievances. Why should I poison them? I have no reason or motive for poisoning at all. When old man Hu heard what Qi Ling said, he also begged for mercy. My daughter-in-law is not that kind of person, and we will not poison her. We will investigate whether there was poisoning, Qi Ling said. At this moment, Hu Daimao came in humming a tune. When he saw the police, he turned around and ran away. He thought he had stolen a chicken from Wang Shuilian's house and the police were here to arrest him. Lao Hu grabbed Hu Daimao and said, why are you running? I haven't asked you anything yet. Haha, I didn't run away, Hu Daimao apologized, I just feel uncomfortable in my stomach and want to go to the latrine. Come here, I want to ask you something, Qi Ling said. On August 20th, you and your wife sent sugar cakes to He Tianatian's family in Kijia village. Hu Daimao said the same thing as Lu Lingli, insisting that he had not poisoned it, and said that he also ate it at home. Qi Ling took out the dry sugar cake and asked, is this the sugar cake you gave me that day? In order to preserve it longer, the sugar cakes have been dried. When Lu Lingli saw the piece of cake, she gradually calmed down. It had been so long and there were no witnesses. They had no evidence at all. No, my piece of sugar cake is soft and yellow, Lu Lingli said, it's not as dry as it is now. Yes, it's not like that. The ones we sent are soft. The cakes made by my wife are particularly delicious, Hu Daimao said. This cake is so hard that even if you break your teeth, you can't bite it. This is not sent by our family. Seeing that Qi Ling refused to leave, Lu Lingli argued, don't accuse us honest people unfairly. Take a piece of broken cake and say it is our cake, and say that I have poisoned it. Seeing this, old man who stood in front of his son and daughter-in-law and said, yes, you can't wrongly accuse honest people. I also said that he Tianation's family poisoned the cake themselves and wronged us. I didn't say your daughter-in-law poisoned it, I just came to ask. Qi Ling smiled, his eyes fell on Lu Lingli's belly, and he scanned it. However, Qi Ling is a relatively upright person after all. Without evidence, even if it was he Tianation's family who reported the case, he would not arrest Lu Lingli. After Qi Ling took the people away, he returned to Kijia village. There is insufficient evidence and we cannot arrest anyone for the time being, Qi Ling said apologetically, but I will continue the investigation. He Tiantian had already thought of such a result before, and although she felt a little disappointed, she was not sad. If the law cannot teach Lu Lingli a lesson, she will use other methods to punish Lu Lingli. He Jingyu smiled and said, thank you for your hard work. Although we can't catch Lu Lingli, at least she let us know that she wants to harm us. Now that I am mentally prepared, I am not afraid of that woman causing trouble. Yes, be vigilant. That woman is not simple. She is also very calm when she sees us, Qi Ling said, she is not a good person. After Qi Ling took the people away, He Jingyu told the family to close the door tightly and be cautious. He Tiantian agreed, but thought in her heart, Lu Lingli, you are unkind and I am unjust. With the help of the Snake King, He Tiantian successfully left a little consciousness in the mind of a big-mouthed woman in Hujiakan. After Das Weipo woke up, one more thing came to her mind, that is, she saw Lu Lingli and Tonki's accountant's good deeds. In Lu Lingli's belly, there is a bastard-like accountant Hu Daimao will be happy to be a father after that. The biggest advantage and disadvantage of a big-mouthed woman is that she talks nonsense. Several women bit their ears and emphasized that before speaking, they must not speak outside. As a result, as soon as the chat ended, the women each found someone to talk to about the matter, and repeatedly stressed that they couldn't tell anyone outside. So, it spread to 10, and soon everyone in Hujia village knew about it. Old man Hu Daimao gets pointed at everywhere he goes. I don't know what's going on. Later, old man Hu asked someone who had a good relationship with them, and then he found out what was going on. No wonder my daughter-in-law has gained some weight recently, only on her belly and not elsewhere. She smells strange and often feels nauseous. When he thought that the child might belong to someone else, old Hu felt as if he had eaten fly shit. De Mao, when did you and Lu Lingli achieve good things? Old man Hu asked his son. If Lu Lingli had been pregnant a long time ago, it would be easy to find out without waiting for the child to be born. Hu Daimao thought for a while and said, it was half a month after we got married. Lu Lingli was taking a bath in the water. I couldn't help it, she started crying. When she heard that I was going to marry her, she stopped crying. I thought that she is so beautiful and she is from the city, so it would not be a bad idea to marry her. Old man Hu stamped his feet angrily and said, Lu Lingli is pregnant. Ah, Hu Daimao said in surprise, then am I going to be a father? Old man Hu patted Hu Daimao on the head and cursed, you are 11 Dang's father. It's not certain who the child belongs to. Let's go and ask the doctor to take Lu Lingli's pulse and see how old the baby is in Lu Lingli's belly. Hu Daimao finally understood why the villagers were pointing fingers at him during this period. It turned out that he was a cuckold, raising other people's women, and also raising other people's unborn sons. Old Hu went to call Wang Shuilian, and Hu Daimao went home. But when Hu Daimao returned home, he searched everywhere but couldn't find Lu Lingli. At the same time, Lu Lingli's clothes disappeared. There were signs of rummaging around every corner of the house and in my father's room. Lu Lingli, you damn woman, Hu Daimao jumped 3 feet high and yelled. When old man Hu came back, he heard that Lu Lingli had run away. He quickly went to the house to check, sat down on the ground, and cursed, "Lu Lingli stole all our valuable things." There was money inside, as well as 2 gold bracelets and a few silver coins that old man who had secretly left behind. Apart from the money, old man who dared not say anything else. Lu Lingli was also very smart. She had already figured out everything about their family in just over a month after marrying into their family. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 316. 314. I didn't expect that the rumors outside were all true. Wang Shuilian was stunned and quickly reminded, "You should quickly call the villagers to look for her. You and your son can't scold her at home, but you can't scold her back." When old man who heard this, he was right. He quickly went to find someone to help. "We can't let Lu Lingli, that bitch, run away." So old man who asked the villagers for help and looked for Lu Lingli everywhere. At this time, the power of a village was seen. When something like this happened, everyone came out to help find someone. Secretary who divided the people into several groups and went to look for them separately. In the village, an educated youth was missing for no reason, and secretary who couldn't explain it. The Snake King woke up in the barrier and habitually searched for some information from the outside world. He found that Lu Lingli had stolen things from the Hu family and ran away. Lu Lingli ran away. She went in the direction of the county town, the Snake King said, reminding He Tian. He Tian was stunned and said, "Her scandal has been exposed. She can't live in Hujia village anymore, so she has to run away." "Where is she now?" "It's 30 miles away from Hujia village." "I can't sense it any further away," the Snake King said. "That woman ran away with the package since Hu Daimao and Hu Laohan left home in the morning." He Tian put down the sickle in her hand, asked Aunt Lu for leave, and went to find her father He Jingyu. He Jingyu heard that Lu Lingli had run away, and thought of Lu Lingli poisoning their family before, and secretly hated in his heart, "I will borrow the bicycle of village chief Chi, and let's go after that vicious woman." The father and daughter went down the mountain and borrowed the bicycle from village chief Chi. He Jingyu rode a bicycle and took He Tian to chase. He Jingyu actually didn't know where to chase, but he heard his daughter say to go to the county town. After riding for a while, He Jingyu said, Tian, how do you know Lu Lingli will go to the county town?" "I guessed," He Tian said, "Lu Lingli is pregnant. She can't survive in the mountains. No one will take her in other villages, so she must go to the county town, either to find a place to live or to climb a train to go to other places." "You make sense, let's go to the county town to see," He Jingyu agreed. They also met some people on the way, all of whom were going to the county town to find Lu Lingli. However, when He Jingyu and He Tian were halfway there, the Snake King said with regret, "The woman has climbed onto a train and followed the goods." He Tian sighed in her heart, and still let Lu Lingli escape. "Then do you know which train it is?" He Tian asked. She wanted to know where Lu Lingli might get off along the way. "Train 512." The Snake King replied that Lu Lingli was too smart and courageous, but she didn't use her smartness in the right place. Now that Lu Lingli is gone, she will definitely be irreconcilable with He Tian in the future. The people of Hujia village have gone to the police station in the county to report the case, but if the person is missing for less than 48 hours, no case will be filed. After 48 hours, Lu Lingli didn't know where she ran to, so the people of Hujia village continued to look for her. "We can't catch up with her, right?" He Tian asked, very regretful. "Yes, she has left my detection range," the Snake King said ashamedly. "When I have cultivated to perfection and my spiritual power is stronger, I will know where she is." He Tian heard the guilt of the Snake King and said, "This is also good. Snake King, in fact, you have helped me a lot. You don't have to be ashamed, I don't mean to blame you." The Snake King's breathing stagnated, in fact, it was blaming itself. I want to practice. After the Snake King finished speaking, he closed the barrier. At night, he Tian went to find Niu Lily and squeezed together for a night. He Jingyu was taken to Niu Daijin by Niu Lily and stayed there for one night. The next morning, he Jingyu bought some daily necessities and took he Tian back to Kijia village. Wang Shuping saw her husband and daughter coming back and asked, "Have you found Lu Lingli?" "No, so many people were looking for her, and we had things to do, so we went home," he Jingyu replied. When he heard that Lu Lingli had run away yesterday, his first reaction was to look for her. But it's not that easy to find someone in such a vast sea of people. Wang Shuping felt uneasy and finally sighed, "Hey, I still can't figure out why Lu Lingli poisoned us." "Yes, I can't figure it out either," he Jingyu said. "We don't have any enemies, who would treat us like this?" He Tian was listening on the side. She knew that with her ability, even with the help of the Snake King, she might not be able to find out who did it. Suddenly, he Tian had an idea. She didn't have such a capable person, but what about Huo Yingzhe? Last time, there was a woman who pretended to be Huo Yingzhe and wrote to her. Yes, the more he Tian thought about it, the more it made sense. She wrote to Huo Yingzhe at night and asked Huo Yingzhe to help her find out. Compared with the scholarly He family, the Huo family had more information and channels. When encountering things before, he Tian always thought solve it by herself, but now this matter, she can't solve it by herself, so she asked Huo Yingzhe to solve it. Moreover, Huo Yingzhe also said that if there is anything, he will find him. If you don't find him, he will be angry and unhappy. He Tianation's letter was taken away by the postman who came to the village to deliver mail. He Tian received Qi Xiaoyan's letter, and in her heart there was a photo of Qi Xiaoyan in formal clothes. One word is valiant, and women are not inferior to men. He Tian pointed to the photo and said, "Mom, this is Xiaoyan, the daughter of village chief Qi, who was admitted to the art troupe this year." "This daughter looks good," Wang Shuping praised her. She also knew that she was her daughter's good friend. "Yes, he has a good temper," he Tian smiled. "I work outside, and I don't know when I can go home to visit my relatives." Wang Shuping smiled and said, "I guess I can come back during the Chinese New Year." "By the way, Mom, how are those peach trees?" he Tian asked. "Mom and Dad are busy during this time." When she heard about those peach trees, Wang Shuping's eyes shone brightly and she said happily, "They are all alive now, so don't worry. The mountain behind Kijia village is indeed a geomantic treasure. If it were in other places, 80% of them would have survived." 10, that's pretty good. "That's good, I'll be able to eat peaches next year," he Tian smiled, "but I also want to eat the persimmons at home." "I know you like to eat them. Your Aunt Lifang will help us pick persimmons and send us some when the time comes," Wang Shuping said with a smile. "Our persimmons are hard and will not soften no matter how long they are left." "It's getting better and better." Yeah, he Tian nodded. The persimmons produced by the persimmon tree were delicious, but they were more of good memories. The sweetness of being together as a family and the joy of playing with Huo Yingzhe. The sweetness of the 70s. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 317. 315. A layer of autumn rain and a layer of coolness. After autumn, after a rain, the weather became cooler. As long as it rains, there is no need to go out to work. Not going out in the afternoon, he Tian decided to make dumplings. The leeks in the vegetable garden are very good. Beat 2 eggs and make leek and egg dumplings to eat. Grandma Chi-san agreed. Tian, go to the vegetable garden to get leeks and choose vegetables. There are 3 skilled women in the family, and they can make dumplings very quickly. In less than an hour, the dumplings were made. He Tian ate dumplings and went to the back mountain to deliver a whole lunch box to her father so that he could eat some too. It had just rained and the road was a bit slippery. but He Tian was walking on flat ground in the back mountain in the dark. Now in broad daylight, the road was a little slippery, so it didn't matter. After a while, He Tian arrived in Daowen. Dad. He Tian saw her father checking in the peach garden to put water in places with a lot of water. He quickly shouted loudly to prevent the dumplings from getting cold. What delicious food did you make? He Jingyu asked, and when he saw his daughter, he showed a big smile. Leek and egg dumplings, He Tian said. I ran fast and it's still hot. He Jingyu came to this wooden house and washed his hands. He Tian opened the lunch box, and it was still steaming inside. He Jingyu likes to eat dumplings, especially dumplings made by his wife and daughter. After eating, He Jingyu rinsed his mouth, and it started drizzling again outside. Tian, do you like it here? He Jingyu asked, looking at the green mountains. Even in autumn, the mountains behind Kijia village are still so lush and green. He Tian nodded and said, Dad, I actually like it here. There is no re-education here, and there is not so much blackmail and intrigue. Although we also encountered some difficulties, we overcame them one by one, so I like it here very much. Yeah, I like it here too, He Jingyu said, except for your Uncle Huo's family. We don't have any particularly close friends or relatives in Nanxi, so I don't want to go back to Nanxi to celebrate the New Year this year. Get off the train and we can spend a good New Year with my stepmother. He Tian agreed, okay, so that our family of 4 will not be tired from taking the train, spend a lot of money, and suffer. That Yingja. He Jingyu was a little worried about this pair of young lovers. He Tian said slyly, Dad, don't worry. If brother Yingja is free, he will come back to see me during the Chinese New Year. Haha, He Jingyu smiled. Huo Yingja was like this summer, and he was considered a diligent young man. Yingja is a nice kid, but you can't be mean-spirited. He Jingyu is a man, and he knows that men like girls to be sensible and generous. Occasionally being arrogant and being mean-spirited may make men miss her, but it can't be too much. I know, Dad. He Tian wrinkled her nose and said, I have grown up and know what to do. No matter how old you are still my daughter. He Jingyu smiled. His daughter was so good looking, but he was really worried if she wasn't by his side. He Jingyu looked at his daughter, a little strange. Dad, why are you looking at me like this? He Tian was confused and touched her face, thinking there was dirt on her face. Actually, I've always been wondering. Your mother and I look similar, but we definitely don't look as good as you. He Jingyu said in confusion, according to genetics, this is unscientific. He Tian rolled her eyes, there were so many unscientific things about her. Unlike my parents, I look like my grandma. He Tian said, Dad, think about it, we have an old photo at home, right? He Jingyu thought for a while and said, don't tell me, you really look a bit like your grandma. Hey, I don't know how your grandma is doing now. He Tian was stunned. Wasn't her grandmother already dead? Dad, didn't my grandfather say that my grandma passed away before? He Tian asked. There is only one photo of grandma at home, and my mother and I both think so. He Jingyu smiled bitterly, touched his daughter's little head, and said, your grandfather told me the same thing when I was a child, but your grandfather told me the truth before he died. My mother is a local overseas Chinese, and they are classmates at the university. Your grandpa and grandma both have strong personalities. Your grandma wanted to stay in country M, and your grandpa wanted to return to his roots. Later, your grandma still lost and came back with your grandpa. But when I was more than 1 year old, there was a call from country M. According to reports, my grandfather was in poor health and returned to country M, and never came back. Your grandfather tried to contact there, but there was no news until he received the news that your grandmother had remarried and finally stopped writing. He Tian felt disappointed after hearing this. Love comes and goes quickly. Some people say that true love is not affected by distance and time. But at that time, my grandparents also fell in love and later separated, which indeed affected their love. No wonder Grandpa often reads alone, withdrawn and silent. But sometimes I would secretly take a photo of my grandma holding my dad on her first birthday and smile. Maybe my grandfather regretted it. Now that Grandpa has passed away, it's too late to say anything. "Dad, do you hate Grandma?" he Tian asked. Being abandoned by his mother since he was a child, his father must have been very sad when he was a child. "When I was a child, I missed it because my mother passed away, so I didn't hate it. When I grow up, your grandfather told me before he died that I have grown up. Especially after having you, I know that some things are beyond my control, so I can't help myself." Hate Hijinyu said, "Besides, I have a wife, a daughter, and a complete family, so I have no regrets." "That's good, Dad. Mom and I will always be kind to Dad and feel sorry for him." He Tian smiled and comforted his father. Although his father said this, He Tian could feel his father's slight yearning. Maybe his father was right. He didn't hate the woman who gave birth to him and then left him, but he still missed his mother. It has nothing to do with the world, just because that is his mother. Maybe my father is also thinking that he can see his mother in his lifetime. "Yes, I will also love you wholeheartedly." Hijinyu smiled. "Okay, it's not raining anymore, so you can go down quickly. Someone will come to replace me in a while, and I will go back." "Then I'm going back." He Tian packed up her lunchbox and prepared to leave. It's easy to go up the mountain but hard to go down the mountain. It rained again today, and He Tian walked a little slowly. When we arrived at the animal husbandry team at the foot of the mountain, we saw several people in military uniforms standing at the door of the animal husbandry team. He Tian thought something was wrong and ran over quickly. "Who are you? What are you doing?" He Tian asked, worried that they were here to arrest someone. He Tian doesn't want the peaceful days of Kijia village to disappear, nor does she want the elderly here to be harmed again. Seeing He Tian's recklessness, Secretary Chi came up and asked rudely. He winked at He Tian and pulled He Tian. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 318. 316. Only then did He Tian see the situation clearly, and village chief Chi was also nearby. It was quiet inside, unlike the shouting and killing before. Those people did not embarrass He Tian. He Tian asked village chief Chi in a low voice, "Village chief Chi, what happened?" Village chief Chi didn't know what was going on, but anyway, these people came directly to his home and asked him to take them to Old Man Bai, Zoli, and Xiang Rong. After more than a year of getting along, village chief Chi has regarded them as people from Kijia village. Especially Zoli and Xiang Rong, these two people have flexible minds and good skills, and have made a lot of achievements. I don't know either, but they are very polite, so it shouldn't be a bad thing. Village chief Chi said in a low voice, "Don't say anything, let's wait first. We'll ask again when someone comes out of the house." While village chief Chi was talking, the man kept staring at He Tian, village chief Chi. After a while, the wooden door finally opened, and Old Man Chi, Old Man Bai, Zoli, Xiang Rong, and a man in his 40s wearing military uniform came out of the house together. Old Man Chi said, "It's getting dark and there's still rain at night. If it's not urgent, you can rest in Kijia village for the night and then go back." "Thank you, Chief Chi, then we are sorry for bothering you," the middle-aged man said softly, with his back slightly arched and very humble. Although one is idle at home and the other is here and has no official position, his military rank is still there. He is only a lieutenant colonel. Give him 100 courages, and he would not dare to be arrogant in front of two old heroes. Besides, that Zoli is on the same level as him. That Xiangrong is taller than him. Village Chief Chi stepped forward, not nervous at all. My second uncle is so awesome. Who am I to be afraid of? Second uncle, don't worry, I will make arrangements right away, Village Chief Chi said. There are 5 people in total. Our family can accommodate 3 of them, and I will arrange for the other 2 to stay at Daijiao's house. You guys should eat here today, sweet girl, don't leave, cook for us, old man Chi arranged, and it was arranged in a few seconds. Hey, he Tian said crisply, Village Chief Chi, when you return to the village, tell my grandma and mother that I am here to help. Okay, Village Chief Chi said with a smile. He went home and asked his wife to come over to help wash vegetables and cook. Professor Wang was about to take the basket to pick vegetables. He Tian took the basket and followed. Professor Wang, what are these people here for? He Tian asked, feeling particularly curious and a little excited at the same time. Perhaps they were re-employing Old Man Bai, Zoli, and Xiangrong. When they arrived at the vegetable garden, Professor Wang smiled and said softly, I guess they want to invite Lao Bai to come out. There is probably a war somewhere. Oh, it was almost as she guessed, Grandpa Bai, will they go back? Of course I will go back. Professor Wang smiled bitterly. As a general, you are proud to fight on the battlefield and wrap your body in horse leather. Being able to command tens of millions of troops again is naturally better than living in the countryside doing nothing. Yes, Grandpa Bai still wants to develop his ambitions. Grandpa Chi is the one who is truly indifferent to fame and wealth, he Tian said with emotion. An official as old as Chi gave up when he said he wouldn't do it. Professor Wang sighed, wasn't she waiting too? I just don't know when the school will start, Professor Wang said with a wry smile. Yes, he Tian smiled and said. Tian, you are so smart. You can think of this at such a young age, Professor Wang said. The smartest people here have all become officials, so you are right. We can think of it, and they can also think of it. I can think of it. He Tian smiled and said, Professor Wang, please don't praise me. I'll just say it too. In fact, they were all her insights from her previous life, as well as some comments she saw on TV. He Tian, Professor Wang, picked 2 large eggplants, green peppers, chayote, and a large bundle of green vegetables and leeks. The peanuts were ripe, so he Tian picked up another basket of fresh peanuts, washed them later, put some salt on them, and made salted peanuts, which are perfect as a snack. There are also dried fungus and mushrooms at home, which can be soaked in hot water for later use. Sun Xiao and Chienchikan also came over to choose dishes. Old Man Chi and Old Man Bai, Zoli, and others were talking to the middle-aged man about the situation outside. Lao Bai, Zoli, and Xiangrong have gotten better. I wonder when we can do this, Sun Xiao whispered. He was homesick. His wife was at home, and he didn't know how he was doing now. Since last month, Sun Xiao has been able to communicate with his family because of his good performance. He wrote back, but he was a little worried when he didn't receive a reply from his wife. So recently, I asked Professor Wang to write a letter asking her son and daughter-in-law to check on my wife and see if something happened. After hearing this, Chienchikan smiled bitterly and said, Hey, you have relatives, you can still go back. I can't. During the Liberation War, my wives and concubines took the things from home and didn't know where to go. After that, I went to jail and lived happily for a few years. Now that I'm here in Kijia village, I feel pretty good. Except for being far away from home and not being able to go home, Kijia village is actually quite good. At least we are not starving. You see, 2 people died in Hujia village this year, Sun Sihao said happily. Fortunately, he came to Kijia village. In this place, life is not easy either. Yes, if possible, I would like to settle down here, Chienchikan said. As for Nanji, hey, there is no point in going back alone. The two of them chatted while choosing dishes. The livestock team also had salted fish. He Tian made braised salted fish nuggets. Village Chief Chi had someone fish out a big fish. He Tian made a large bowl of fish head and tofu soup, and then made twice cooked pork and stir-fried vegetables. Braised eggplant in oil, salted peanuts, etc. It was so full that a table was filled. While the man was drinking, she and Professor Wang did not go to the table to eat. They left the food early and went to eat with Professor Wang in the room later. He Tian was very tired and hungry. She had eaten a lot. After they had finished eating and drinking over there, He Tian and Professor Wang washed the things before going back. It was already very late. Village Chief Chi took several staff members to send He Tian home. After He Tian returned, He Jingyu asked, Tian, what do those people do? They are here to help Grandpa Bai, Uncle Zhou and Uncle Xiang resume their work. They will take Grandpa Bai and the others out of Kijia village early tomorrow morning, He Tian explained. Professor Wang guessed that Grandpa Bai may be needed in some places. Now, we need people who are trustworthy and capable. The above content is 2053 words. I recommend Slow Time by Willow Leaves in Winter. Qiao Zhao married a first-class nobleman in the capital, but unfortunately he didn't even get a bridal chamber, so her husband went off to war according to the order. When they met again, she was shot to death by her husband on the city wall with an arrow. When she opened her eyes, she became a kidnapped girl riding a donkey, racking her brains to figure out how to return to the capital. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 319. 317. So this is a. Since ancient times, such things have happened countless times. He Jingyu smiled and said, that's fine, he has his responsibilities. They can't stand such mediocrity in Kijia village. Maybe so, He Tian said. I see Grandpa Bai's eyes burning brightly and he is more energetic than usual, so I know that he is still eager to resume work again. Yes, since you can't let it go, then go for it, He Jingyu said. Now that I have this opportunity, of course I can't let it go. Now that I think about it, Grandpa Chi can really let go. Not many people can do it, He Tian said, admiring Old Man Chi even more. Everyone has his own ambitions, and each has his own taste. You can only taste it yourself. He Jingyu also admired Old Man Chi, but he also admired Old Man Bai. Wang Shuping got up early in the morning and made a small pot of soft scallion pancakes. She wrapped it in oil paper and tied it with a hemp rope. She said, Tian, the three elders left and we don't have anything good to send. I made some scallions, you can give them the pancakes and boil 10 eggs for them to eat on the way. Okay, He Tian carried the oil paper bag and a small bag of eggs and went to the animal husbandry team. Old Man Bai and others were ready to go and sat on the bullock cart. Grandpa Bai, Uncle Zhou and Uncle Xiang, these are the scallion pancakes and boiled eggs made by my mother. You can take them with you to eat on the road. He Tian smiled and said goodbye to them. During this year in Kijia village, the three of them received help from many people, among which He Tian was the most considerate. We have had breakfast. We can eat in the county town at noon. You can keep these things for yourself. Old Man Bai refused, leaving these good things to He Tian. He Tian smiled and said, Grandpa Bai, just take it. The autumn harvest is coming soon, and there will be enough food to eat. Take it, this is sweet girl's heart. Zoli reached out to take it. He missed the taste of his scallion pancake. Old Man Bai was moved and nodded, thank you very much, sweet girl. We will meet again in the future if we are destined. After chatting with everyone for a while, Village Chief Chi drove the bullock cart and took Old Man Zoli and others to the county seat. With 3 people missing, the livestock team seemed to be missing a lot of people, and it was much deserted than usual. At the same time, He Tian and others' tasks became even heavier. The autumn harvest is about to begin. There are so many animals in the livestock pens of the livestock team. They need to eat a lot of grass every day, and at the same time, they have to store hay for winter feed. Secretary Chi waved his hand and asked Wang Lei, Zhang Qingshan, and Ye Xiaofan to come over and help. The young people in the city were also happy to give them work points. As for Sister Wu, the reason why she can't come is because she is pregnant. The two people immediately became a family of three, so Wang Lei had to work more and earn more work points, so that he could share more money during the Chinese New Year. Ye Xiaofan and Zhang Qingshan have been frugally saving money for their betrothal gift. Now that they have the opportunity to earn more work points, they are also very happy. Brother Wang, Brother Zhang, Sister Xiaofan, thank you for your support, otherwise Aunt Lu and I wouldn't be able to do so much work. He Tian smiled and said, Secretary Chi said that it must be done before the autumn harvest. Prepare fodder for winter. Because after the autumn harvest, we have to go to the river to plow the river. When we come back, it is already the end of autumn and it is too late. In order to complete the task, Aunt Lu from the animal husbandry team led 8 people including He Tian, Wang Lei, Zhang Qingshan, Ye Xiaofan, and Professor Gu to cut the grass in full swing. Because of the heavy workload, He Tian lost some weight than before. Seeing this in Wang Shuping's eyes, she felt distressed, so she tried her best to get some delicious food to replenish her daughter's health. Wang Shuping and He Jingyu are agricultural experts who support Hawaii City. Together, they have a salary of more than 100 yuan, plus some food stamps and subsidies, so the family of 4 is living a prosperous life. Ever since He Jingyu and his wife came over, Grandma Chi-san has been smiling and full of energy all day long. After half a month of busy work, it's finally the golden autumn and the time to harvest rice. Looking around, the plains and terraces are golden, with heavy ears of rice bent over. This is the ration for the second half of the year. After Secretary Chi held a mobilization meeting, the autumn harvest began. Because of the harvest, the villagers can share food, so everyone's face is full of smiles. This time, every time it's going to rain, there's no need for He Tian to secretly remind village chief Chi. This job was taken over by He Jingyu. Tian, your dad is so awesome. He said it would rain today, and it actually rained. Aunt Lu, who works in the livestock team, asked with a smile, how can your dad have such magical powers? Haha, my dad is engaged in agricultural research. He pays close attention to the weather and knows a lot about meteorology. He can make more accurate judgments based on the weather, air, trees, and other surrounding environments. He Tian said proudly, his dad is the best. That's it, Ye Xiaofan nodded, it's better to be knowledgeable. Hey, even if there is no university now, we don't have the conditions to study if we want to. As long as you want to study, you can always study. He Tian said, Brother Wang Lei, didn't you graduate from high school? When you have nothing to do, you also study. In case the college entrance examination is available one day, or the college recruits people, you can take the exam anytime. Wang Lei sighed and said, hey, I didn't catch up with the good times anyway, and I have almost forgotten all the things I learned over the years. If there are textbooks, maybe I can still remember them. He Tian smiled, this Wang Lei is a top student and got the first place in Daowen County. I have textbooks there, but I can't lend them to you. If you go to my house, I can show them to you. You can copy them back and study by yourself. If you don't know how, you can ask Professor Gu and Professor Wang. He Tian. The suggestion is that they hope they can keep reading and take the college entrance examination in more than 5 years. Unexpectedly, the most enthusiastic person was Ye Xiaofan. Okay, Tian, then I will go to your place to read and copy the questions. Sister Xiaofan, why do you want to study? He Tian asked, a little surprised. Ye Xiaofan is also a generous girl. He said seriously, our generation has not caught up with the good times, but my children may be able to catch up. I have learned how to teach my children in the future. When they grow up, they will be like me. It's like becoming a talent yourself. Zhang Qingshan smiled and continued, I also learn, but I can't be compared to the child's mother. Haha, Wang Lei laughed, then I have to learn even more. My child was born during the Chinese New Year. After half a month of intense labor, the autumn harvest was finally completed and winter wheat was planted on the ground. The next step is to hand over the public food. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 320. 318. On this day, the men followed village chief Chi to pay the public rations, while the women and children rested at home. However, these women secretly confessed that it was not easy to go out to buy some things when they arrived in the county town. He Tian thought that she had saved enough tickets and wanted to go to the county town to buy a piece of purple silk and some embroidery thread for Grandma Chi-san to make a beautiful cheongsam for Grandma Chi-san. This is what He Tian promised Grandma Chi-san before, but she never had enough votes. He Jingyu was going to the county town to give a report and accompany his daughter to the county town. The bicycle I rode this time was not borrowed from village chief Chi, but He Jingyu's own. Zhang Lifang and Huo Jekan were thoughtful. After knowing that He Jingyu didn't have a bicycle here, they immediately dismantled He Jingyu and Wang Shuping's bicycles in Nanji, sorted them into categories, packed them, and sent them over. In this case, for only a dozen yuan in postage, you can have 2 bicycles. Save money and tickets. So now not only He Jingyu has a bicycle, but He Tian is now riding Wang Shuping's old women's bicycle. Bicycles are faster than ox carts, so they arrived at the county town earlier. He Jingyu sent He Tian to Niu Lily and then went to work. Niu Lily happened to have a day off today and went shopping with He Tian. Because He Tian was coming to the county town, Wang Lei and the other educated youths asked He Tian to take things with him. He Tian bought 2 whole pieces of paper one by one. Because He Tian bought a lot, the salesperson's attitude was a little better than usual. Tian, why did you buy silk and satin? Niu Lily reminded in a low voice, although silk and satin are beautiful, you can't wear it now. You can't tell the difference between east, west, and north after a few days of stability. He Tian knew that Niu Lily cared about her and explained carefully, I bought this for my grandma. Grandma is a delicate old lady. Now that she is getting older, she misses the past more and more. I just want to take advantage of her to live well, yes, make her a dress she likes. Niu Lily was stunned, and then thought that He Tian recognized her grandma. She was already over 60 years old, and she didn't know how many years she could live. It is common sense to buy decent clothes while you are still alive. I see, that's okay, but you can only wear the clothes you've made at home, not outside. Niu Lily reminded, let's go, I'll take you there. Niu Lily took her to find a salesperson she knew well and bought a piece of fine dark purple satin, which was soft and smooth. Before leaving, I saw a piece of sapphire blue fabric, which was full of brilliance and very suitable for Grandma Chi-san. So I gritted my teeth and bought it. Good things come in pairs, make 2 for Grandma Chi-san. He Tian went to buy embroidery thread and various types of needles, which were carefully packed in small wooden boxes. He Jingyu made a report, had lunch, and took He Tian home. It's good to have a bicycle. At least you can go back and forth in one day. It's more convenient and faster than an ox cart. When we got home, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening and it was dark. He Tian parked the bicycle, took out a small package from the frame at the back, and said, Grandma, do you see what I bought you? Grandma Chi-san walked out of the house on tiptoe and asked with a smile, then I want to see what my good granddaughter bought me. He Tian took it to the table and lit an oil lamp beside it. Wang Shuping held the needle and picked at the wick. The soybean-sized oil lamp became larger and the room became brighter. He Tian had already opened the package and spread out the 2 pieces of silk in the package. Oh, the color is so good, Wang Shuping exclaimed. I haven't seen such beautiful satin in many years. Grandma Chi-san stretched out her hand and stroked it gently, worried that her rough hands would fuzz the fabric. Yes, it's true that I haven't seen such good fabric in many years, Grandma Chi-san said with emotion. Just buy one piece. Why did you buy two pieces? Sweet girl always remembered her words, which moved Grandma Chi-san very much. He Tian smiled and said, Grandma likes it, then let's make two. I want this purple and blue one for your mother. Grandma Chi-san can't accept them all. Although she likes them very much, she knows only when they are suitable, not to be greedy, and to share good things with everyone. Wang Shuping smiled and said, Foster mother, give me this fabric, but I can't wear it. If you like it, I will make it for you. When you have the opportunity in the future, let the sweet girl buy it for me. Yes, Grandma, this is for you, he Tian persuaded. You don't need anything, and your parents don't know what to give you. Now I happen to have the tickets in hand, and we are not short of money, so I bought it. Thanks to Sister Lily's help, we were able to buy good quality silk, which is much better than buying it myself. He Tian didn't know much about silk and satin, and the ones she had seen before were not as good as these two. This. Grandma Chi-san hesitated. She really liked this. She has been alone most of her life. Ever since her son disappeared and her husband passed away, it was only the second brother Chi who was kind to her. How could he Tianation's family not be moved by how they treated her now? Thinking that there were many treasures in the secret room at the back, if his son could not be found in the future, they would all be left to he Tianation's family, so he would compensate them. Foster mother, please accept it, he Jingyu said with a smile. It's normal for a son to be filial to his mother. If you don't accept it, don't treat us as your own. Seeing Grandma Chi-san, he Jingyu thought of his mother. Especially some time ago, seeing those old photos of Grandma Chi-san reminded he Jingyu of his mother wearing a satin cheongsam, sitting elegantly in front of the window. Haha, Grandma Chi-san smiled, very pleased. Okay, since I am a filial piety from the younger generation, I will not be polite. Tomorrow I will start making clothes. On the purple ones, I will embroider white peonies, sapphire blue. Yes, I want to embroider elegant magnolia flowers. Grandma Chi-san wanted to make the most beautiful clothes out of these two pieces of fabric and treat them like shrouds. With Grandma Chi-san's arrogant and petite nature, even if she goes underground, she still has to dress beautifully and decently. When you are alive, you cannot wear what you want, but after you die, you can do whatever you want. The next day, Grandma Chi-san asked Wang Shuping to measure her. While he Tian was drinking tea, she watched Grandma Chi-san write down her measurements in a notebook. He Tian discovered that although Grandma Chi-san was old and still had small feet, her back was straight and her gray hair was neatly kept. She was an elegant old lady. After recording the measurements, Grandma Chi-san was humming a little tune while cutting clothes, feeling very happy. Grandma Chi-san's optimism and good mood infected Wang Shuping and he Tian. Wang Shuping said in private more than once that it is rare for a woman to have such an optimistic attitude and mental state. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 321. 319. After paying the public grain, Kijia village began to distribute grain. Because this year's harvest is better and the public grain payment is the same as before, there is more grain left than in previous years, and a family can get dozens of kilograms more grain. With these dozens of kilograms of grain, everyone can eat a few more meals. After dividing the food, we started to plow the river. This year's task was twice that of last year, and Kijia village was the fastest, completing it in only 25 days. After the villagers of Kijia village returned, it became even more lively. At the end of the year, when we have received food and have some money, we have to buy weddings for our sons and daughters. Therefore, during this period of time, the villagers of Kijia village held weddings every now and then. He Tian only needs to clean the livestock team in the morning, and Aunt Lu will clean it in the afternoon. As for the work of cutting fodder, Qianchikan and Sun Sihao did it. He Tian has nothing to do and often goes to Daowen in the back mountain to accompany her parents. The peach trees needed to be pruned, but He Jingyu didn't throw away some good branches, but kept them all. Not long ago, He Jingyu picked up stones on the mountain and built a greenhouse with some small peach saplings cut there. Wang Shuping even planted a large piece of cabbage in the open space, and now the cabbage is full of vegetables. Wang Shuping was worried that it would freeze, so she asked He Tian to cut grass and cover it with them. In this way, the cabbage under the grass can continue to grow, and the cabbage that has experienced frost will taste better. Next to the cabbage is a piece of radish. In a few days, the radish will be harvested. Mom, let's pickle more dried radishes this year. I like to eat it, He Tian said. In previous years, we were in Nanchi, and the supply was small. We didn't have enough fresh radishes to eat. There weren't that many radishes to pickle dried radishes, so we could only pick them every time. Get some. Not to mention, before the Chinese New Year last year, He Tian got up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning and went to the supply and marketing cooperative to queue up to buy things. Because there are many people and few things, the number of purchases at a time is limited. If you have tickets and money, you can't buy more. There are a lot of things now, and conditions have improved. Yeah, I'll make more this year. If you can't finish it yourself, you can give some to others, Wang Shuping said. Chinese cabbage is also good. I'm making some spicy cabbage. He Jingyu and Wang Shuping like living here now. Although they did not have complete instruments, she and her husband did not stop researching and exploring. After helping to fix the cabbage patch, the mother and daughter went home to cook. As soon as I got home, I was told to go to the village branch to get a letter. Wang Shuping accompanied her daughter to the village branch to get the letter. Qi Shulai smiled and had a very good attitude. After the mother and daughter left, Qi Shuqiang praised her and said, "The girls in the city, the mother-in-law, are just beautiful. How can they be mother and daughter? They look like a pair of sisters standing together." "Haha, yes," Qi Shulai said, "that woman of yours is just a dominatrix." "Yeah, I've been at a loss in this life," Qi Shuqiang said regretfully. "If I could sleep with such a beautiful woman, I would have fulfilled my wish in this life." This is what Qi Shuqiang likes. Qi Shulai smiled, finished smoking a cigarette, and cursed, "Look at your potential. It's not easy to sleep with a woman." Qi Shuqiang's eyes lit up. He quickly took out a cigarette and offered it to him, asking, "Second brother, do you have any good ideas? I have heard that in other villages, those village cotters have slept with many young girls." Qi Shulai said with a smile, "We also have the power in our hands. If we don't use it now, we will wait until when we can use it. My brother-in-law is also the captain of the village. When I had a drink with him before, I heard him say that I thought he was bragging." "Is this true?" Qi Shuqiang was dubious. "Those people were so brave." "Humph," Qi Shulai sneered, "let's not talk about it. Accountant who from the village next door to us did this. He was also bloody, and he took the blame for that woman and the child in her belly. Before he was shot, his family went to see him and heard that the woman had run away, so they told him everything. I really didn't realize that a serious accountant who could do such a thing," Qi Shuqiang said. "The price of being caught in an affair and killing someone is a bit high." Qi Shulai smiled and said, "That's because he is stupid. He couldn't sleep with her even once, so he slept with her and got pregnant." Qi Shuqiang felt itchy and said to please, "Second brother, what do you think we should do?" "It's very simple. Those who want to leave the countryside need us to issue a certificate. When the time comes. Chi Shulai smiled obscenely, saying everything without saying anything. Chi Shukyang also felt that there was much to be done and laughed obscenely. However, Chi Shukyang immediately thought that with Secretary Chi here, those educated youths would not ask him to issue certificates. Other villages can do it, but our village can't. Chi Dazu, that elm-headed man, will not allow us to abuse our power for personal gain. Chi Shukyang finally felt that it was not feasible, so he had better be honest. Accountant who from the next village has already taken advantage of him. Haha, Chi Dazu is also a hypocrite, Chi Shulai said, with us watching from the side, he doesn't dare. For those who are unwilling, it may be more difficult, and someone can come to the door voluntarily, you can. Sent to your door voluntarily, Chi Shukyang was overjoyed. Which one is it? Say CAO, CAO will be here soon. Chi Shulai laughed and looked out the door. Chi Shukyang looked outside and saw Lin Zairu. Lin Zairu, Chi Shukyang asked, why is she here? There is a quota for the publicity team in the commune, but it requires recommendation from the village. Chi Shulai explained, if you like. Is this okay? Chi Shukyang has a lustful heart but no courage. Haha, why not? Chi Shulai said. Chi Dazu wouldn't have stopped him in the first place, but here Kaka, this matter has just happened. Chi Shukyang hesitated in his heart and said, second brother, this Lin Zairu is not a good bird. If she can do such a thing as reporting, she must not be a good person. If I sleep with her and things don't get done, then she reports me. I will be unlucky. Lin Zairu has been working with the propaganda team since last year and is familiar with the people there. If there was no accurate information there, Lin Zairu would not be so active, Chi Shulai said. Besides, this woman, at first glance, is not. You are a grown-up girl. Others can sleep with you, but you can't. Chi Shukyang thought about it. Yes, since it was just a broken shoe, what was he afraid of? Second brother, have you slept with me before? Chi Shukyang asked with a wink and a lewd expression. Chi Shulai shook his head and said, as I get older, I have more ambition but less strength. Otherwise, such a good thing can be advantageous to you. Hearing what Secretary Chi said, Chi Shukyang let down his guard. How about he give it a try? After a while, Lin Zairu came to the village branch, took a piece of paper, and came to the village branch to stamp it. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 322. 320. Chi Shulai looked at his watch and gave Chi Shukyang a wink. Oh, Shukyang, you are on duty here, I have something to do. Chi Shulai smiled, packed up his things, and prepared to leave. Lin Zairu was about to come in when he met Accountant Chi, who was about to go out. Accountant Chi, can you wait? I have something to do, and I want you to stamp it for me, Lin Zairu said hurriedly. Last time, Chi Shulai refused to stamp her because he was busy with work. Comrade Lin, I really have something to do and I have to leave for a while. If you have anything, ask Shukyang to help you. After Chi Shulai finished speaking, he took his notebook and left regardless of Lin Zairu's voice behind him. Lin Zairu was really anxious, but with Chi Shulai like this, she couldn't step forward and make a fuss with Chi Shulai. Chi Shukyang poked his head out of the village branch and asked with a smile, Comrade Lin, if you have anything to do, you can come in and talk. Lin Zairu had no choice but to go in, but Chi Shukyang's eyes seemed a little flickering. Lin Zairu smiled and stepped forward and said, Captain 1, please give me a stamp. These are 2 packs of cigarettes. Captain 1, don't dislike it? Chi Shukyang saw Lin Zairu giving 2 packs of cigarettes and placing them on the side of the table. He smiled and said, don't be impatient. Speak slowly. Why do you need to write a certificate? Lin Zairu took out a piece of paper with an application written on it and said, Brother Chi, It's not easy for my little sister to have this opportunity. Please kindly help me. Chi Shukyong picked it up and looked at it, and he had a plan in his mind. Especially after Lin Xiru called him Brother Chi in a sweet voice, he became even more excited. There's drama. Chi Shukyong tapped his fingers on the table but said nothing. Brother Chi, please help me, Lin Xiru said, when I get to the publicity team of the unit, I will definitely buy some wine from Brother Chi. Chi Shukyong half smiled, looked Lin Xiru up and down, and said, this is really a good opportunity. It would be a pity to miss it. Yeah, why don't you come to Brother Chi for help, Lin Xiru said with a smile. Time is a bit tight, Brother Chi, please help me and write the certificate quickly. Chi Shukyong felt even happier. He stretched out his right hand and touched Lin Xiru's hand without leaving any trace, and said, haha, time is very urgent. If you miss it, you won't have a chance next time. When Chi Shukyong's hand touched Lin Xiru's, Lin Xiru knew that Chi Shukyong wanted to take advantage of her. But Lin Xiru is not stupid. If she agrees to something like this the first time, there will be a second time. It will be a stain on her life. How can she get married in the future? And the person in the county will never allow her to do this. Lin Xiru smiled and took out her hand. Brother Chi, I understand what you mean, Lin Xiru said calmly, it's just that I can have such an opportunity to prove that I have someone above me. You and I are good, not to me or to you. Benefit. When Chi Shukyong saw that Lin Xiru was unwilling, his face suddenly drooped and he was very unhappy, but at the same time he really didn't dare to be forceful. Putting aside whether Lin Xiru would report him, he didn't dare to offend Lin Xiru just because there were people in the unit. Chi Shukyong felt a little regretful. He must have drank too much today. Haha, I'm sorry. I drank too much and put my hand in the wrong position. Chi Shukyong smiled awkwardly. He didn't want to lose his position as the first captain because of this. Although Chi Shulai was not a big shot, he had some dignity in the village, which she was reluctant to lose. However, Lin Xiru also knew that by offending Chi Shulai, she would be restrained everywhere in the village from now on. Furthermore, she left Kijia village and was still thinking about how to rectify He Tianatian's family. Naturally, she could not alienate Chi Shulai and Chi Shukyong's force. Lin Xiru covered her mouth and smiled, saying, Brother Chi, do you really want to? Chi Shukyong was about to give up, but after hearing Lin Xiru's words and seeing Lin Xiru's smile as bright as a flower, his heart became even more itchy. Sister Xiru, what do you mean by this? Chi Shukyong said with a smile and his eyes narrowed. Lin Xiru saw that there was no one outside the door and said with a smile, I can't help myself, but there are people who can. Brother Chi, we are not the only young people from the city in the village. If Brother Chi likes it, I can make peace with him. Chi Shukyong thought for a while. He couldn't covet Lin Xiru, but he could covet other people. Which one are you talking about? Chi Shukyong asked. You are more confident. Lin Xiru raised her eyebrows and said, that young man from the city named Wu is pregnant and can't be cured. But what about Tian Tian, Huang Jingli, and Ye Xiaofan? Upon hearing He Tianatian's name, Chi Shukyong quickly shook his head and said, I don't dare to provoke He Tian Tian. Then Chi Jiangguo is still in the labor camp. Besides, her parents are also here, following her, so there is no chance. This Chi Shukyong is a softie. I want to covet women, but I don't have the guts. This Chi Shukyong is also a softie and a coward. Haha, Lin Xiru smiled, the only ones are Huang Jingli and Ye Xiaofan. Both of them are young people from the city, which is suitable. Chi Shukyong thought for a while, that Huang Jingli was too ordinary, so he coveted her as his own mother-in-law at home. As for Ye Xiaofan, he was pretty good looking, on par with Lin Xiru. Just that Ye Xiaofan, Chi Shukyong said, but that Ye Xiaofan already has a partner, how can you take action? Chi Shukyong is a bastard now, and all he can think about is coveting a beautiful eldest daughter. Such a wonderful thing, it feels beautiful just thinking about it. But he didn't completely lose his mind. If you want to covet a woman, you have to keep your hat. Linziru was a little disappointed when she heard Yeziofen. If it was Huang Jingli, it was just a matter of her words. However, Yeziofen is not a good person either. He has always been against her since he settled in the village. Yeziofen, aren't you very arrogant? Wait. Now she would go back and let Yeziofen have a taste of being bullied. Haha, brother Chi, don't worry about what I do. Once I have arranged this, brother Chi, you will be able to accomplish good things. After saying that, Linziru put away the application and stopped asking Chi Shukyang for his seal. After she was satisfied with Chi Shukyang, she would stamp it again. If Chi Shukyang didn't stamp it, she would report anonymously that Chi Shukyang coveted young people from the city. After Linziru left, Chi Shukyang was very excited, but also a little worried. But think about it, this is a very common thing now. If others can covet it, why can't he? At the same time, Chi Shukyang also sighed in his heart, if this Lin Xiao was really a beautiful snake, she would be cruel and ruthless. It's okay to be cruel to Yeziofen, but to do this to his good friend Huang Jingli shows how vicious his nature is. I can't afford to offend such a woman. Even if Linziru threw herself into her arms now, he would not dare to covet her, fearing that this woman would bite him if she was unhappy.